You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Good. So we're going to start now. Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, thanks for doing the show. This has been like a 3-year in the making podcast episode, and I really appreciate it, buddy.
Cool, man.
Yeah. We follow each other on Twitter, and I met you at the Irvine Improv. And, and then we were supposed to catch up at the Brea Improv, but then they kicked me out because they didn't believe me that we were talking on Twitter. They thought they were like, it was a fake Sinbad account or something.
But you know what? Now they hit for, I think about 2-3 years ago when my Twitter people come backstage, I took backstage. Now I think the game is caught up now. A lot of clubs and theaters have caught up more to it. But back then, they're like, yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And, like, when you first started stand-up, was it a lot harder for other comics to talk to other comics? Because, like, there was no cell phones or social media, you know what I mean? It was all word for word.
No, man, we were social media. It's the opposite. We were able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's actually harder now. I don't think social media, or so-called social media, made life more social. I don't think life is more social.
Yeah.
I think people cherry pick who they talk to, but it didn't make access. I think nothing better than a bunch of comics sitting down after the show, eating breakfast, or comic walking up another comic and talking about his show. That's how it used to be.
Yeah, the good old days. Because for me, it's hard because it's like word of mouth. Like, if someone says you're funny, you're funny. But now, like, you gotta watch videos and all that stuff, and people don't really have time for that.
Well, what it is back then, a comedy club was set up so an audience didn't mind seeing a new comic. Matter of fact, audiences at a comedy club love finding new comics on the way up. The headliner might be somebody you never heard of.
Yeah.
And usually when he do, he came up through the ranks. Well, I used to see him open. Oh, I remember he was a middle act. So they were almost kind of happy to see you succeed because they could brag about, I've been watching you since I saw you when you started out. And it was like something kind of a relationship between you and the audience. But now it's whatever it is, man. It's some other stuff.
Well, one of the questions I wanted to ask you was because you're a very clean comic, and I'm a PG-13 comic, but I heard that the cleaner you are, the more you'll work. So I was just wondering, do you have any advice on?
That's not true.
It's not?
I think it's not true because I don't know what I am. I don't know you even use the word clean. I don't know. I'm funny.
Yeah.
That's the only adjective I want. Doesn't matter if I'm clean or dirty. When I started off, I was more dirty than I am now.
Yeah.
It's a choice I made. But just if you're funny, you'll work.
Yeah.
And not always will be true. Now there's the place you can work when you're clean that you can't work if you're dirty. But there's a certain Hollywood love the dirty, the bad boy. They love that because somehow they think that you're dirty, you're more hip. Yeah, right. Or that you're more edgy. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So these cats come from the same backgrounds as anybody else.
Yeah.
So what gets you work is being funny, man.
Yeah. But you said yourself you were dirtier when you were younger, and now you're not as dirty. Like, is that something you just grew into, or was it like easier to write that way?
No, I was dirty when I started. And then my dad came to my show and I cleaned it up one night.
Yeah.
And then somebody said to me, "Wow, I'm glad that it's a comic I can go see. And would you continue to do that?" I was like, "Oh man, I don't want to be that guy." I didn't want to be that guy. But so what I made a deal with myself. I will be just as militant. I will just be as belligerent on stage. I just want to use certain words. And I found out it's the wordage that makes somebody hip in Hollywood. Not your stance on life, not how you carry yourself, but the actual words that come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
It's almost like being a potty mouth kid. And people go, "Oh my God, isn't he something else?" Oh, he's a jerk, but it's cool.
Yeah, and then it turns out he's like the nicest guy,
Yeah. So really, it's not the words. It's we get caught up in like what we consider to be outside the box. Everybody will say, "I'm outside the box," but somebody's got to be in the box.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're outside the box. And what is the box? When people say be outside, I think some things are just catch-all words. it sounds hip to say when you're an artist.
Yeah. When you did Star Search and you beat Dennis Miller and you lost to the guy who does the voices on that show, what's his name?
John Cassier.
Yeah. Like, was that like because like it turned, like, in my opinion, it turned out you actually won because, you know, you got all the specials and stuff, and all that guy got was the show as a dead puppet, you know?
Well, we used to say this: the Kiss of Death sometimes was winning on Star Search.
Yeah.
Now, Brad Garrett, it worked out for him. Remember, this is the difference between Star Search and American Idol, all that crap. Everybody on Star Search, whether it was a singer or entertainer, was already doing something, was already singing. We just needed that boost. But it wasn't like, oh, God, I hope I'm funny. Oh, God, I hope I can sing and cry because this is what I always wanted to do. Man, I'm already doing it. We were already doing it. It was just a chance to get some TV time.
Yeah. Is that before you did the Red Fox show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's before I moved to L.A.
Oh, really? Where were you before Star Search?
I was just living on the road. When I did Star Search, I'd only been doing comedy for about a year.
Yeah. Because you were in the military.
I was in the military, kicked out the military, went to college before that. I had a crazy life, man.
Yeah. Well, I remember growing up, I watched you and actually 3 of my favorite movies, First Kid, House Guest, and Jingle All the Way. And I find Jingle All the Way to be the best Christmas movie ever, you know?
It was, you know what? It was a cool opportunity, man. It was. I think it became more of a cult Christmas film than when it first came out, you know?
Yeah. And I heard a rumor, I don't know if this is true, but did you beat out Joe Pesci for that part?
I think it was a couple of people. There was Joe Pesci for that part. My man from New York, NYC Blue, he was up for that. Jeff, God, why am I tripping? Jeff, the tall actor, man, has his own theater in he was up for that part. There was 2 people up for that part, man.
Yeah.
I think I got the part because I don't know, one somebody that was big or somebody that was like he could toss with and that was funny.
Yeah. And your chemistry with Arnold Schwarzenegger really worked out too.
Oh yeah, man, it was cool, brother.
And the thing is, like, because like I have Asperger's, so I catch all these facts. But you did House Guest with Phil Hartman, and then you did Jingle All the Way. And did you know Phil Hartman was in that too?
No, man, we didn't know who we until, you know, because we only had one time on the set together.
Yeah. But that's like one of those interesting, you know, you work with the same people type of things, you know.
But man, Phil was man, it was fun working with Phil Hartman. We just had something that worked, man. We had something that worked.
Yeah. He was so funny and so like, I think he's like the best person to ever come out of SNL, and then like when he was on News Radio, he was the funniest guy on that show, you know?
Well, he was the best utility man. I think he was the best utility man that Saturday Night Live ever had.
Oh yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, and then I think Hollywood was finally figuring out how to use him, and then we lost him.
Yeah, it's so sad how we lost him too.
Yeah.
Did you get, when you did House Guest and, you know, when you were doing the McDonald's and stuff, like, was that like the scene that everyone knew you from? Because like you just come out with the McDonald's and then the gangsters come after you and you like give them to a kid, you give the McDonald's to a kid and you're running and stuff.
Man, the McDonald's scene, the scene in the car talking about being attacked by a shark, us singing about Camp Maple Ridge, in the movie where we're doing the song about barbecuing. Dude, there was some cool moments in there, man.
Yeah, there should have been a sequel. You should have like pushed for that.
They did, man. They did do a sequel. Dude, it's terrible.
But you weren't in it?
No, they did. No, they did the sequel to Jingle All the Way, man.
Oh yeah. That one. I didn't even watch that one. It had like.
Horrible, man.
It had like Larry the Cable Guy or something, right?
Yeah, man, it was horrible, man.
Do you find like doing movies with stand-up comedians a lot easier than doing it with like actors. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger's an actor, but you did Meteor Man with like Cosby and Eddie Griffin and Robert Townsend. You know, like comedians. Like, which one did you find easier to do?
I mean, it's not about easier or harder. Comics are drama. I love comics can do everything. But I like working with thespians and just actors too, because they bring something else out in you. So I don't care who I work with, man. I just like working.
Yeah. Meteor Man was awesome though. Like, did you know how when Black Panther,
like Meteor Man was Meteor Man? I had just landed in L.A. was going home, and Robert asked me if I would be in the movie. I was just sitting in the trailer, man.
Well, you know what's great about Meteor Man that I find awesome is because, one, it's funny, but do you remember when Black Panther came out and everyone was saying, like, how he's the first black superhero or whatever? In my opinion, Meteor Man was, because, like, that was...
Meteor Man...
you know? Like,
Meteor Man was one of the first, man.
Well, but you remember this whole Black Panther controversy, you know what I mean? It's like, what about Meteor Man? Did you guys not watch that, you know?
But you know what? I think because the Black Panther was like, you can't take anything from Black Panther.
Yeah.
It was. Remember, we had before that. My man, Carl Lumley played a black superhero.
Oh yeah.
Back in the 80s, 90s, man. Yes.
What was that called?
We've had a couple. Yeah. We've had a couple on it before, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
What was Carl Lumley? Man, I gotta find that again, man.
And then there's a movie out there that everyone says exists, but like no one really knows. It's about where you played a genie. Is that like something someone made up?
If they can find it, man, more power to them.
That would be great though. Like, did you actually film something like that or no?
Nope.
Oh man. So how did that story like come out? Because like that was a big thing.
I have no idea, bro. It popped up about 5 years ago. I thought they were playing. I don't even know why it popped up. Everybody has a distinctive memory of this movie, but they can't tell you 3 scenes.
Yeah.
They can't say 3 scenes.
The Western you did, the Cherokee Kid, that one was fun too.
Now that was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. Did you? What was it like filming a Western?
Man, look, every kid wants to do a Western.
Yeah.
And I'm a black cowboy. I ride horses and everything, so I was in heaven. I was in heaven, man.
Yeah, that was awesome. And now when you do stand-up, you tell jokes, and then like when I saw you played a flute, and you did like a funky band thing too. So like, but you did
I'll mix music. I'll mix comedy. Now I'm working on learning some new instruments like keyboards and trombone and sax and bass, guitar. So you know, I'm having fun with everything.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, you've always been doing stand-up too, so like that's like the dream, you know. Because I want that dream to just do stand-up every single week, you know.
I'm out there every weekend, so I'm blessed because now remember I'm 63 years old this year, so sometimes the road it takes its toll. The body needs more sleep now.
Yeah.
The older you get, man, you don't repair, dude. You don't repair right.
Really? I mean, like, I know that the older you get, the harder it is to lose weight. Because, like, I used to be so skinny, and now, like, I'm not so skinny.
Yeah, that's God's payback for the desserts.
All those McDonald's that I started eating after House Guest.
Yeah, man.
But when you beat Dennis Miller on Star Search, like, because you're 2 totally different type of comics, like, was that like one of those? Because you don't strike me as a guy who was like all bragging like, "Ooh, I beat Dennis Miller," but that's still like a huge accomplishment because he's, you know what I mean?
Remember, man, Dennis, me at that time.
Oh yeah.
We were all just comics trying to make it. Also, remember this: losing or winning as a comic has nothing to do with who's the funniest.
Yeah, that's true.
You do shows like that. You hope you can win the money, Like you want to win the money, you hope you can stay on TV longer, but it creates your audience. But it has nothing to do with who the funniest person is.
Yeah, that's 100.
Like singing competitions, it sometimes has nothing to do with who the best voice is.
Yeah. You know which one I like? I like the one where like they turn around their chairs and then like the person sings.
The voice.
Yeah. That one's good because then it's like, you don't know if they're attractive or whatever. You know, you judge them by their voice.
Yeah, but that show is more for the judges than for the contestants.
Yeah.
Remember, all the judges are going to have better careers. Name me 2 people from The Voice that are going on to have a great career. You can't.
No, I can't.
Because it's not made for the contestant. It's made for the judge.
That's true, because I can name like 2 people from American Idol, even though I've never seen an episode.
Yep. Yep.
Have you ever wanted to like start your own talk show, like the Sinbad show? Like even though you had the Sinbad show, but like a talk show.
I had a show. I did Vibe back in 98, 99, 2000. So I did a show called Vibe that was produced by Quincy Jones. But in the day they wanted me to do a talk show, but I was so busy. I just wanted to do movies. And once you do a talk show, your time is kind of done as far as making movies and making TV series. Yeah. Now you can do a lot more. I wouldn't mind doing a talk show now. But I don't know if they want somebody my age to do a talk show now. The world's flipped. They're looking for the new young person, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I had a whole bunch of money, I would produce a talk show for you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, as long as I could like do a comic like like Carson where they like you do 5 minutes and he like as long as I get the thumbs up from you, that's all I care about. Yeah. I'll be like, it doesn't matter if it helps my career as long as Sinbad thinks I'm funny, I could live with that, you know.
All right, man.
Well, I got a couple more questions and then I'll let you head out. You're doing the casinos compared to comedy clubs. Which one do you think is a lot smoother for what you do? Because like casinos didn't really always do comedy clubs until recently. You know what I mean? Like they've turned it into a comedy club in the casino.
Well, no, casinos have always had, casino has always had comics and bands. I think they go hand in hand. For me, I like the mixture. I like doing the theater. I like doing the casino. My thing is about a comedy club. I can stay one place for 3 or 4 days and let my body kind of heal up.
Yeah.
But you don't have much of a day because you do 2 shows. Thursday you might do 1 show. Friday 2 shows. Saturday 2 shows. Sunday shows. You're beat up pretty much as your time. But that's 5 shows to keep honing your craft. Yeah. And you get to stay in one place, don't have to fly. Now, casinos, I love casinos, but usually I'll do one on a Friday, then a different one on Saturday. So it's catch that flight, go next place. Catch the flight, go next place. Yeah. But I love the casino audience too.
I used to open for Norm Macdonald a lot, and whenever we did casinos, they'd pay him in chips, and then he'd be rushing to the poker table.
I don't get paid chips, brother. I don't gamble my money away.
But you know what I mean? But like that's why it's like,
Hell yeah. Oh man, no, brother. I ain't giving my money back.
Yeah. But no, like comedy clubs, they, it's just like there's no poker tables, and like if you're more interested in playing games like that, you know what I mean? Like it's just, I personally find casinos very hard because you hear all that racket, you know.
I don't know, man. To me, they're all different opportunities just to do stand up.
Yeah.
I don't see anything as easier or harder.
Yeah. So, well, my last couple of questions is like you said that like in a previous interview that comedy is the thing that makes you great. Comedy is the lack of fear, and the thing is I have a form of autism called Asperger's syndrome, so like comedy is like really hard for me because I can't read people, so like as you could tell, phone interviews might be a little awkward for me too. But like when I'm...
No, I didn't pick it up, Nico. You said you had Asperger's, but usually you can pick it up. So when you're on stage, you can't read people's emotions?
Yeah, like I can't hear laughter and stuff. So I just wanted to ask, like, how do you conquer that fear?
Well, man, you gotta realize this. If that's your thing, everybody has something they can do, right? Everybody has. What do you pick up? What makes you different? What can you pick up?
I can't read people, so like when I tell jokes, I try and think of like I'm just telling jokes in front of like people I love, like my family and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Now, when you're telling jokes, you can see people laugh, though, right?
Yeah, I can see people laughing, but I mean, I can't hear the laughs. So
you don't hear laughter.
No. And see, that's one of the.
You can hear words, right?
Yeah.
You hear words, right?
I hear words.
But you can't hear laughter.
No, I hear hecklers sometimes. So.
That's wild, man. I'm trying to think of what it'd be like. I'm trying to think what it'd be like not to hear laughter.
Yeah.
That's different. Did you ever talk about that on stage?
Yeah, I do. And like actually Norm was one who told me to like concentrate more on time of the joke and not worry about that. So.
Yeah, give it time to do what it do, but you can still see people. You can see the mouths moving. You can see all that, right? You can see smiling. You can see that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, but I can't. Yeah, I could definitely see that, but I can't tell like when someone's smiling if they're like smiling because I'm funny or smiling because I'm awkward. You know what I mean?
Oh man, you always assume they're smiling because you're funny.
Oh, okay.
You just assume that shit, man. You don't ever assume they're smiling because I'm awkward. You always assume they're smiling because I'm good.
Yeah.
Man, hell yeah.
That's really hard to do in bar shows though when like they're throwing darts at you. You know.
I don't care. They're throwing darts at me because I'm the man. I'm the man.
So, you think I should just, do you have any advice on other people who have, like, other fears like that? Because, like, what's your biggest fear when you go on stage?
If you can't see the laughter, hear the laughter. Remember, comedy is so connected to laughter. You've got to start trusting what you see.
Yeah.
You can see a smile, right?
Yeah.
You can see when somebody's chuckling and grinning, right?
Yes.
Then that's what you gauge it on.
Oh, awesome.
That's what you gauge it on. And you might want to start your show telling the audience, look, man, tell them, hey, who you are. I have Asperger's. I can't tell when you're smiling or laughing with me, so I'm assuming I'm funny as hell.
That's a great joke.
Just start right there. So I'm assuming. So if you make a little smart, elegant remark, I still take that as I'm funny as hell.
Well, how I start my show is like I say like I have a form of autism called Asperger's syndrome, and what it's like is everyone has two parts of the brain, a right and a left. And if you imagine there's a guy on a typewriter in each of those parts typing, one guy's over typing and the other guy's just lying back eating Cheetos. So the stuff that's not funny, that's the Cheeto guy.
Because I'm high level ADHD. But they tested me. I didn't even know it, man. They said I had one of the highest levels of ADHD they had ever tested.
Oh, really?
They said, how do you concentrate? I said, think about it. I'm in the perfect job where I don't have to concentrate.
Oh.
Job. When people think I'm doing a callback, I just forgot about that. It came back to me. So it's never a planned callback. The shit just comes back. And I've learned to accept it.
Have you ever done like 45 minutes and then you started doing the exact same 45 minutes because you didn't know?
I've done 45 minutes and ended up doing brand new 45 minutes. So it makes me right on time. I forgot what I talked about. So I ended up writing another hour.
And then you repeated the first hour?
I'll even ask the audience, hey man, have I gone down this route with y'all before? And they're like, let's go another route. I'll tell the audience, where do you want me to go?
Yeah. Wow. Well, Sinbad, you're playing tonight at which casino? Shumash. Well, I wish you.
Santa Barbara.
Yeah, I wish you the best of luck, man. I wish I could go, but I'm doing the Irvine Improv actually with Craig Shoemaker.
Oh, good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
So, but I love you very much, and thank you so much for finally doing it. I know you've been busy, and it really means a lot to me. You're one of my heroes, man.
Well, thank you, dude, man, and have fun tonight.
All right, Sinbad. Take care. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
And remember this: if you don't kill, you don't know.
Oh, that's a good advice.
Yeah, think about it, man. So you can tell everybody every night, I think I killed it.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah, man. How'd you do tonight? Don't say I don't know. Say, I killed it. Until I hear otherwise, I killed it.
Yeah. It's like I killed it, and I was on stage until everyone left.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Sinbad, I love you, pal. Thank you so much, man.
All right, take care, man.
All right, bye.
Peace.
All right, guys, that was Sinbad. Awesome interview, and it was great, man. Follow Sinbad on social media. I put away all the notes because I was texted Sinbad had something to do and an emergency, and then he called me. So that was really cool because I thought I got rescheduled. But follow Sinbad on Twitter at SinbadBad. And, he's the awesome, funniest guy in the world and the nicest guy in the world. Also, remember, if you like the show, please subscribe, rate, and review. And thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.